We got a great topic today. Can I get a cowabunga?
Nope. Cowabunga!
Hello everyone and welcome to the Bearded Geeks, a weekly grab bag of topics covering movies, comics, video games and TV. My name is Jace. I have the beard. With me today, Bobby Baxter, Patrick Brown, my darling co-hosts. How you going, boys?
Hey. I'm pretty good. How are you?
Yeah. That was a very low intro for me. It was. Because normally I'm like, hey!
I was like, are we recording?
Yeah, we are. Okay. When I listened back to it last week, like, it was really loud, and I was like, ooh, that was a bit much. I might just do a tapered back one this week.
Yeah,
keep it low, like I'm in a jazz club.
Yeah, with tuxedo and stuff. Yeah.
I don't own a tuxedo.
We'll get you one.
Thanks.
Like one printed on a shirt.
Like we got Pat for his Bucks night.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was awesome.
We didn't have suits, we just wore t-shirts with like tuxedos printed on the front.
Oh, that was great. Loved it.
That was a great night.
Wore it the whole night.
Yep, what a night. Still waiting on that fan fiction.
Still wearing it.
Yeah.
Taking it off.
He hasn't washed it, I don't think.
No, he's savouring the scent.
I don't think I have, actually.
All the different scents. Like your Spider-Man suit you wore to your 26th birthday.
Yeah.
But you haven't washed that.
That's still hung in the closet, and it hasn't been washed since.
I haven't washed the tears out of that one.
The emotional tears.
That's a funny story. We might save that, actually. We might save that for our 25th episode spectacular.
Yeah.
We've actually got some ideas. Our 25th episode is coming up in a few weeks, and we thought we might do something different. We thought we might throw it out to our bearded listeners, and if you want to throw us maybe a topic that you maybe would like us to talk about, just throw us lots of different random topics. We got a couple of weeks ago. Yeah, throw us some topics. We'll pick one. We'll talk about it. Or we'll try very hard to talk about it. We'll just make shit up.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. Or if you've got any questions, you want to know any questions about the show, about us, about anything, you know, throw some questions at us, and we might answer those as well. For our 25th episode spectacular.
I think it's a great idea.
Just rolls off the tongue.
Yeah.
So how is everyone?
How is everyone?
I'm good, thanks. Yeah. How are you? How are you, Bobby? Are you well this week?
I'm doing okay. Yeah.
Okay. And how are you, Bobby? I'll ask you twice. Make up for last week.
Last week, yeah, I was pretty good. I was really good. I wanted to tell you guys, but you didn't ask.
You're saving it.
I did find that very funny, though. He's like, Russell was like, Bob, how are you going for sausages, mate?
Oh, Russ was great. Listening back to that show from last week, we had a really good time, and that was a funny episode.
Yeah.
I was exhausted by the end of it.
I was too. Slept for about 3 days afterwards, I think.
Yeah, my cheeks were
All
hurting.
those dad jokes. Just bang, 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 bang.
Yeah.
Just like rapid fire.
It's crazy with 4 of us in the room, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. That fancy mic of yours as well is like, I was getting picked up on 2 mics if you're wondering why the audio was out. And I just I don't know how to fix that. I was just, don't worry about it. That's fine. You can still hear it.
Yeah, got used to it.
Yeah, that's good. How are you, Pat?
Yep, going well.
How's things in your realm?
Yeah, pretty good. I've been, just pretty busy at work.
Pretty good, yeah.
Lots
Sounds
of
There's a lot going on, and I had to turn down a project today.
Ooh, tell us all about it.
Not from Marvel. It was an opportunity from another company, from DeviantArt, and couldn't take it on. It's too much Marvel work.
Shit.
There was only like a week deadline too, so
Is it one of those ones that stuck out and you're like, oh, I wish I could?
yeah. It would have been really fun to do.
Because you did that Witcher one you did was for DeviantArt?
Yeah, The Witcher
And the Planet of the Apes.
Planet of the Apes. Yeah.
Dawn of the Planet of the Apes.
Yeah, they do really they give me really cool projects and stuff, and this one was massive. Like, would have loved to have been involved, but
Was it cool? Can you tell us?
nah, I better not say, just in case it's a bit of a secret, NDAs and all, you know. And
You didn't sign anything, did you?
no, it's worth a bit too. I bloody would have loved to take it on. It was more
bloody
like, but well, but just they had to stick to my Marvel stuff, and
They've sunk their claws deep into you, haven't they?
yeah.
What did Frank say when you were in New York?
Welcome to the machine.
Just a cog in the machine now.
Yeah, but it's been fun. Like Marvel's given me another big new project that I'm working on, and it's something completely different to what I'm used to. I can't say again, but yeah, it's just fun to work on that, and I'm thinking about doing Inktober coming up.
Sweet. Me
Yeah,
too.
because you mentioned Bobby, and
Yep.
And I was just like, ooh, I might try that. Thinking about doing Game of Thrones theme for the whole month. Because they got heaps of characters. I just might do a character a day, you know.
Yeah, sweet.
And then just put them all together at the end and put it into a picture or something.
Cool.
Yeah. Be fun. So I'm still watching the show at the moment.
Oh, yeah, me too.
I've still got to get through that.
I've nearly finished season 7. I've got
nice.
3 episodes left of season 7. That's it. I'm done. Watched 67 episodes in 4 weeks.
Jesus Christ. I'm still on season 3 at the moment.
Oh, yeah.
We haven't touched it for a few nights.
I'm midway 6.
Yeah, sweet. I'm thinking about going on to Battlestar Galactica after this. Thinking about it.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
a tough
After
series,
our
though.
chats.
It's like chewing on jerky, that show. Great, though.
It's delicious but tough.
Pat, you haven't had a chance to play anything for ages, have you?
No.
Because you bought Uncharted like 3 weeks ago and haven't even touched it, have you?
Yeah. I actually think I might have lost the disc. I don't know. I remember I brought it in from the house after buying it. I hadn't had a chance to play it.
Ran
I've
around
just
the
left it
backyard,
there.
like throwing it with the dog.
Well, I think Mason might have grabbed it and moved it somewhere. I just can't find it.
Oh, shit.
I'll find it. If I have a good look, I will find it. But yeah, last thing I touched was Grand Theft Auto 5 with you guys, I think, a few weeks back online. But yeah.
Yeah, I haven't had a whole lot of gaming stuff in the last couple of weeks either.
Yeah.
I got to confess, I uninstalled GTA 5 the other day.
I was so excited because I was like, that paves the way for me to do
For you to do it, yeah.
But then
I thought I was going to be the one.
But then I turned around and reinstalled it the next day. Because I wanted to see how big the patch was. It's 15 gig,
Yeah.
if you want to know. But I am thinking about getting a PS4 Pro. So if I do,
Yeah.
it's not going to be an issue.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
So how are you, mate? Tell us all about what's going on.
Yeah, pretty good. Pretty good. Car's getting a bit of work done on it at the moment, so I'm sort of housebound.
Oh, yeah.
It's like pissing down with rain outside, so I'm like, just going to play video games all day.
Damn, sounds like a hard life.
Yeah, so I had the Dooner on the couch. Picked that up from Patrick Brown, having the Dooner on the couch.
Oh,
it's a great idea.
Oh, that's the best.
So I played Dishonored this afternoon. I finished the first mission of Dishonored Death of the Outsider, which was fucking great,
Wait,
actually.
I'm just picturing, like, Paddy invented the Dooner on the couch.
Well, we've got a good photo from the
Yeah,
old
we used
pad.
to share it.
And we were rugged up in the Dooner together.
With
and
the
then,
cat.
And Brucey's in the middle, the cat. He's in the middle. We got that photo and we're all snugged up playing video games.
Yeah, that's great. You were playing Far Cry 3.
Oh, really? I can't remember.
Jesus.
That's when you lived with me for a while, yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
The good old days.
Snuggling up all over the house, weren't you?
Playing
Rubbing our
Tootsies.
feet together.
Oh.
Good times. Good
Yeah.
times.
I don't know where I cut you off there. What were we talking about? Uncharted or something? No.
Uncharted. Yeah, I was playing Dishonored today. First mission was bloody good. It was a corker.
Hey.
A bloody corker of a mission it was. I just love that those games just so inventive. Like you can do complete missions so many different ways. Like if you have a good look around,
Yeah.
have a think about it. But yeah,
Great games.
you got to play the second one, mate. You
Yeah.
got to play the second one.
I remember how addictive the first was. It's just
That's where it's at.
great playing.
The second one is so much better than the first one.
Yeah.
Mm.
I'll have to pick it up.
You bloody better.
I will.
Yeah, I only got 1 or 2 levels into it. I got to pick that up again too. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Corker of a game.
Corker. He loves a good corker.
Winner.
Yeah, it's bloody oath. There was a Vermintide patch the other day. It was like 15 gig. So I'm like, geez, is that a whole new game?
Yeah, it must be a new DLC or something.
Hopefully. I haven't fired it up, but maybe we should kick that up on the weekend or something. But you downloaded the Battlefield Premium Pass,
I
didn't you?
did.
You bought it.
I caved because I usually don't go for the super premium bloody season pass shit that they try and sell you. But it's been about $75 since launch here in Australia, and it went down to about 44 for a couple of days. So I was like, I could do 44. I played like this game for about 400 hours. I could probably sink another $40 in. I'm glad I did because it actually has now like more than double the maps
Yeah, wow.
that it had before. So
That's awesome.
and the new maps are crazy awesome. Really, really cool.
I did a bundle with Hitman, that new Hitman, and all the episodes. I'm glad I did that because separately was a lot more. So, yeah. Buying in bulk, it's good. That was awesome too, all them games.
Yeah.
I
I don't
played one of
mind
those
that
missions.
kind of thing with DLC. Like, I've literally got hundreds and hundreds of hours out of Battlefield 1. So, for me to fork out, like, almost a year later, you know, half the price of what I originally paid
Yeah.
and basically double the content. Like, that's going to give me another at least year
Mm.
of gaming out of this, I reckon. Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, definitely. It's good.
As long as everyone keeps playing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Till something else comes along.
Except me.
Yeah. Yeah, except for Patty. You're missing out, man. Oh, and the new stuff. Oh, it's so cool. There's like a javelin on a horse you can ride.
Oh, I saw that video.
Yeah, and you just... I gave it a go the other night, and I was just riding around. It's so easy to just impale everyone.
And you send them flying.
Yeah.
That's insane.
I told Jimmy about that the other day. You should have seen his eyes light up.
Yeah.
He's like, what?
I'm pretty sure, though, now that I've got a premium thing, if you guys play with me, there's like a Friends with Premium thing that they do.
Friends
So,
with benefits.
yeah, pretty much. So you guys can play the premium maps if I'm playing them, sort of thing.
Sweet.
Yeah, but not when I'm offline, kind of thing.
Yep. Cool.
Yeah.
All right, we should try that on the weekend.
Yeah, definitely.
Yep, cool. All right. Pat,
Yeah,
I've been
yeah.
watching a lot of primitive technology on YouTube.
Ah, good. It's addictive, isn't it?
I watched a video the other day about him making bloody mud bricks.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this guy doesn't say a word, but this is fucking fascinating.
I know.
I'm just like, ooh, what's he doing? You gotta like work it out yourself.
Yeah.
Like, is he making a kiln? What's he doing?
It's
Ooh,
and he makes it interesting too. It's not boring because he cuts it well, edits it really well. And you should watch the earlier ones when he's making cool things like spears, and the bow and arrow one is probably one of my favorites. Good.
I've got one ready to go on my watch list. It's a hut. He makes some sort of hut.
Oh, he can do anything out there. He doesn't have anything with him, no tools. He just builds his own axe, builds his own whatever, you know, and he makes it all out of whatever's around him. So good.
I watched when I watched the video the other day, just like the amount of cuts and everything that there was, I'm like, this must have taken like a fucking week to film because for like 10 minutes of video.
He puts the effort in. He really does.
For the oath. Just like set the camera afar while I just go to the stream and fill up my bucket with water and walk off camera.
Yeah.
That's it. One take deal.
Put it down, go and get the camera.
And with the amount that he earns, like, and how well he is, like, he's probably going to start getting people come with him and do some proper video, you know. Or I mean, he could pay them now.
Is there any behind the scenes where you see him doing that? Like,
No.
do you know if there's someone
I've never heard his voice. I even looked up, is there an interview with him talking? I'm curious about this dude
Someone's asking him questions and he's just nodding.
now.
Send smoke signals. Put like a fire and he sent like smoke signals. Draw like
just goes off
pictographs.
and like creates this massive tower, and then it pans back and it just says the word that he was going to say.
Yeah, it takes him 10 minutes.
Yes.
I also watched the first 2 episodes of Star Trek Discovery on Netflix.
I'm
Oh,
dying
yeah?
to pick
Nettie.
this up.
Any
Oh,
good?
Nettie.
The first episode, like the first 20 minutes is like breakneck pace. Like you don't have a chance to breathe. Like they're just throwing shit at you. By the time you get to the end of the first episode though, and then into the second, it slows down a bit, but pretty much the second episode is like just like one big sort of action scene.
Right.
But it was really good. It looks really great, like expensive. Like they've spent no expense, like throwing money at it.
Yep.
Like the costumes and sets and the makeup and everything looks good. CG looks really good for TV. It's not that, you know, JJ movie quality though, obviously, because, you know, this is TV we're talking about. But yeah, it's pretty interesting. It's quite different. It's like not your average Star Trek, but
Oh,
yeah, I'm keen to see more.
Yeah, cool. I'm dying to jump on that. Looks
Yeah,
good.
get on it, mate.
Yeah, yeah.
Bloody get on it, I
Get
say.
on it.
All right. It must be time for our new segment. Must be time for Drop the Beard. Drop the beard.
Very nice.
Thanks. I've been working on that for like 2 days, but I ruined it. I was like,
Your neighbours are just like, what the fuck is wrong with that guy? Do you hear that? What is that? What's that sound? Drop the beard.
Pat, you've got a Nickelback song for us.
Have I?
I like your hair.
Look at this photograph. The Instagram song. That was great.
No way. Shame.
Spider-Man. And they say that a hero can save us.
Was that on the Spider-Man soundtrack?
Yeah, and the dude from Saliva was in it as well.
Oh,
old
yeah,
days.
that's
Yeah.
right, yeah.
Oh, the good old days, eh?
The good old days.
Oh, I don't know. The good old days.
Thank God those are over.
Yeah.
Where you got
Nickelback's
for us,
still
Pat?
not dead.
Yeah. Oh, my pick for this week is In Flames, and the song is called Wallflower. It's from the most recent album, but it's the one from last year, 2016.
Yep.
Their album came out, and yeah, great song. It's awesome. Really good.
I had a chance to listen to it earlier. It's pretty sick, actually. I haven't listened to any In Flames in a long time.
Yeah, me either. I used to listen to the shit out of them.
It's addictive. Just today, because I picked it out, and I had to listen to it like 3 or 4 times over, because it grabs you. I love it. Really good.
You put it up this afternoon, and it's like a 7 or 8 minute song too.
Yeah,
it's really long.
I love them.
Takes
long
you on
songs.
a hell of a journey. That song.
Yeah, it changes in a little way in the middle part too, and then it comes back to its. It's funny like that, but really good. Like, I like the way they did it. Have a listen.
I'm going to chuck some punk rock in there because I haven't done that yet, and I'm big into punk rock stuff. My band is Propagandy for this week, and they have a new song out. Well, it's been out for about a month or 2, called Victory Lap. And it's fucking ace. It's awesome.
Nice.
Very fast, very punk rock. It's just,
I had to listen before. That was awesome. Really good.
Yeah,
song.
you shared it to us earlier. I had listened to it. It's pretty bloody good.
Yeah.
And I like that album cover too. The roller coaster in the ocean.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was cool.
Yeah, sweet looking album cover. Those guys have been around forever. Like, I was listening to them probably early high school, but I think they've been around for a good 10 years before I'd hit there as well. So.
Oh, really?
Yeah, no shit.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, but they've changed, they've changed members over the years a bit here and there, but yeah.
Have they always stuck to the same, roots and that, like the same tone?
Well, yeah, they've stuck to their message. They're very kind of political punk band, but their sounds sort of evolved over the years to this more heavier sort of stuff. Back in the 90s, it was kind of more like that melodic kind of sort of like everything on Fat Records, like NoFX and Strung Out and that. Like a bit more happier sounding sort of stuff. Still political, but very sort of like happy kind of notes. Whereas now they're going that sort of more like raw, intense, fast stuff. So yeah,
nice.
How about you, Brento?
Wicked. I got a song from my favourite synth artist. I only just found out the other day he just like secretly released a new album, like out of the blue. I wouldn't really call it an album. It's more like a long form EP. But it's Perturbator, and the track's called Tainted Empire. And it's like a 6 or 7 minute track, and it's like fucking aggressive. It's like really aggressive as fuck. Like,
pretty crazy.
Yeah, like really experimental stuff. Like he's taking his stuff in like a whole new direction and that, and compared to his last few albums. But I really dug the track. And as soon as I found out about it, like I jumped straight on eBay and bought the vinyl, which isn't even released yet. It's not out for like another 3 weeks. I'm like, fuck, get it pre-order. Yeah, it's great. Yeah, fucking great track. I love me some synth. I love Perturbator. James Kent, he's bloody awesome. And he's doing, John Carpenter's going on tour for his Anthems album. Wow. And they're doing a show together in Las Vegas. And I'm like, that'd be fucking sick to go to Perturbator and John Carpenter. Yeah.
Does he do any vocals? Like that song doesn't have any vocal stuff from memory, but
no, he a lot of times he doesn't do any vocals, but he has like guest vocalists and that come in for specific tracks. Okay. But yeah, most of his tracks are a lot of synth.
Yeah.
So his last albums, there were a couple of tracks and stuff and that were inspired by sort of like Blade Runner, Terminator, sort of all their sci-fi sort of tech, noir, dark synth wave. It's fucking great.
Really,
get on it.
really cool.
Perturbator.
How do you've been into them for a while as well?
Got plenty of them in my playlists. Yeah, like most of their albums, just heaps of songs out of them. There, they're great. They're awesome.
Bloody great. James Kent, Perturbator. He's a good bloke. He's French too.
Oh yeah, didn't know that.
Actually, speaking of the Bearded Geeks playlist that you're like adding to each week and stuff, I chucked it on in the car on my drive over to Wynyard to visit my parents the other weekend. Just last weekend. Yeah. And I was like, this is a bloody good driving playlist.
I know. I put it on a couple of times when I'm working. It's good, isn't it?
Yeah. Like, so if you want to check it out, guys, Spotify.
Yeah, all the whole mix of everything. It's great to listen to.
Yeah. Where do we have that up where they can...
Well, there's probably enough songs in there now we can share it out to the world now.
We can share it out. But if you want to find it on Spotify, just search for The Bearded Geeks or Drop the Beard. And we've got a playlist in there. We're adding 3 or 4 songs every week. So, gradually by the end of the year, it'll be a massive bloody playlist. And then maybe next year we'll start another one. We'll start a 2018 playlist.
In the future.
In the future. All right. I think that's it.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Might go on to the news. It's time for the news. News.
He's doing these musical cues on the musical cues on the cheap.
I love chewing on those notes. All right, I haven't got much today because we're going to keep the show a bit shorter today because we've had a long few episodes, and I've got I picked up a new gig, so as well as working and having a girlfriend and a life and friends, I also have a podcast, but now I also have a writing gig which I do. So yeah, it's all my spare time. I have no time. I'm gonna have no time for you guys eventually.
All these fancy words.
The man.
Yeah, I got a couple of articles I got to write this week. I've already written one about Star Trek Discovery, so I banged that out after I watched it.
Well, you're bloody good at it.
I try. Anyway. So, we had a couple of great trailers this week. Did everyone see the trailer for The Punisher? I know you did, because I shared it to you.
Yeah.
To make you watch it before you come here.
I didn't watch. No, I'm kidding. I did.
What'd you think? Bit of Metallica on there, one?
Yeah.
Good choice of song for for that character.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks like it's going to be pretty good. I'm kind of excited by the fact I didn't see much sort of superpower stuff going on in it.
Well, he's not a superhero anyway. He's just a vigilante.
Yeah, and I kind of like
He's
that
Batman without the money.
Yeah. I kind of like that that's going to sort of take that slant and give it a bit of a break from all the other Defenders and all those characters, like...
There was an article released the other day that apparently The Defenders is the least watched show on Netflix.
Wow. What?
Whoa.
Apparently.
Well, I haven't watched it, so...
Yeah, I hadn't.
I watched
I've
it.
actually kind of avoided it. Yeah.
What's wrong with you?
Don't know. Like, I just have no real drive to want to watch it, really. Don't know.
I don't
know why.
I don't know
Marvel fanboy turning down something Marvel. I don't know what's going on here. Controversial.
I'm not that big with the whole team thing. I don't know. I don't like him. I like it when it's just Daredevil, stuff like that.
He just likes Daredevil, in other words.
Yeah, I actually just like Daredevil out of them all. And Luke Cage, I quite liked watching his series, but I haven't watched it all yet. But
I like Jessica Jones.
Yeah, I really like Jessica Jones.
I didn't like it. No.
Get out.
Get out. Shit house.
No, I don't know if it's because I haven't watched Iron Fist and Luke Cage yet that I'm kind of like, I don't want to jump the gun kind of.
Oh yeah.
You won't miss anything by watching The Punisher, but yeah, the Defenders really only anything you miss gets picked up on in the first episode or two of the Defenders. And it's only 8 episodes, and that's the perfect length.
Mm.
Although I'm keen to see 13 episodes with The Punisher. The best Punisher.
Oh, yeah, there's a bit of debate today. Look, Paddy's firing up. He's getting ready.
Well, I like Thomas Jane, and that's why we were kind of having a bit of a talk before. I was like, Thomas Jane, he's the best Punisher.
John Bernthal. And Pat showed me the Dirty Laundry short video.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, that's a fucking great video, but watch this. And then I showed him the prison scene with The Punisher and Daredevil season 2. I was like, watch this, and then we'll talk.
Well,
the
thing
amount
about
of pretend gory, after the fact blood spurts and shit makes him a better Punisher. That just makes it more gory.
I don't know. I think I like Thomas Jane's because he kind of he actually punishes them. Like he kind of does some torture stuff here and there, but I haven't seen.
I'll pretend he's burned off their skin, but he's like rubbing icy poles on them.
Oh, that was from that. Yeah. I haven't seen our Punisher, the new one, do any actual punishing yet. He's just kind of goes around beating everyone or shooting the hell out of everyone. He's really good. Don't get me wrong. I actually really like
John
him.
Bernthal, yeah.
I reckon he's going to be fucking awesome, and I can't wait.
That's
going
to be a great series,
and he will probably turn into my new favourite too once I see this new season. But really keen for that.
Speaking of Thomas Jane, we had the trailer for 1922, the new Stephen King adaptation.
Yeah.
Bobby, there was some controversy with you because it was quite a long trailer and it showed quite a bit.
It showed way more. Like, I haven't read the book, so I don't know the story or anything about it. And it's that thing of trailers these days just showing you the whole fucking movie.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, now I don't have to watch it because I know what's coming up. And like, Hales was standing over my shoulder watching it with me, and then she goes, oh, what? The wife's dead, but I like her. Oh, no, what? And I'm like, well, this is bullshit. We already know what's happening. And then right at the end of the trailer, they show you something else with the wife, and you're just like, oh man.
Seems predictable, doesn't it? Once you watch it, you kind of know what the story, how it's going to play out.
Yeah, I definitely want to watch it though. It looks like it'll be a great
I do
film.
too.
It's just like why?
It's just one of those aspects because it's a Stephen King story. So like leading up to like the wife being killed, that's sort of just like the prologue. The bulk of the story, the meat of the story, is her being dead and like haunting him.
Yeah.
Looks
really cool. Hey. Looks
It
awesome.
does look great. Yeah, really nailed that period. Yeah, looks great.
I feel like we're going to start to get a lot more horror movies coming up in the next few years. I feel like there's a pattern happening, with It and then this one, and we had Get Out, and we had like a bunch of other cool ones that have. I feel like there's a bit of a theme going on.
I think they're starting to get it right.
Yeah,
like I think there's been a lot of years where they're probably drawing off that kind of torture porn sort of style horror writing and movies and things like Hostel and stuff and the Saw that got big, and then everyone sort of went that way until we were all sort of so desensitized by it, and now we just kind of want to be like more story driven again. Miss the old stuff.
Lower budgets in that too, especially Jason Blum and Blumhouse. Like they did, Get Out and all these sort of lower budget films. Like they're not a bigger studio, but we can give you a bit more creative control, on a lower budget. I mean, that's where Todd McFarlane is with his new Spawn film at Blumhouse.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Cool. Yep. So that should be cool. We got a couple other bits of news here. Taika Waititi is apparently in talks to direct the live-action Akira film.
Whoa, that's crazy.
Which the studio wants to have 2 films out of that. So they want Akira to be 2 films.
What's that? I'm not familiar.
Akira, you've never seen the anime?
No.
You never really watch anime, have you? Oh, no, not too much.
Not much, apart from Dragon Ball Z and stuff like that.
Yeah, fuck yeah. Oh, Bob, you know what I bought today?
What's that?
I bought the Robotech Macross Saga box set.
Yeah, nice.
The first 36 episodes, so I'm fucking keen for that. Love bloody Robotech. Any Robotech fans out there, put your hands up. Yeah, Taika Waititi, it's interesting pick.
It is.
As long as he's got bloody Kiwi kids in there. Setting mailboxes on fire in Tokyo.
In Tokyo.
Akira. Oh, jeez, how do you explain it?
It's one of the only animes I've actually watched like all of.
Oh yeah.
And it's how do you explain it? It's fucking batshit crazy.
Oh man, it's fucking. It's. I don't even know where to begin.
It's a masterpiece of like artistic. Like you should watch it just for the artistic side of it. It is.
Oh yeah.
Fucking tastic.
Yeah,
I'll show you a trailer when we're done.
Yeah.
We talked about this before, Bob. Have you seen sort of all the Studio Ghibli films?
Not all of them, but
have you seen Howl's Moving Castle? Howl's Moving Castle, whatever it is.
I think I have, or at least a big portion of it. Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
I do want to watch that. There's another one, Ghibli film. Not really too versed with Ghibli films, but I see all the screenshots in that, but I can't remember what it's called.
The last one I've watched that I can remember is My Neighbor Totoro. I think, with the big cat bus and the big weird-looking furry thing with a little umbrella that stands at the bus stop.
I was actually really torn last week because there was anime in that I wanted to include in my top 5 list, but I'm like, no, that's for an anime list. We'll push that aside because there are like all these anime shows that I love that would make like a top 10 list, but it's just, television over anime. We can always do another list. We can do many, many lists. We can do whatever we want. It's our fucking show. We can do whatever we want. So yeah, Taika Waititi, Akira. Be interesting to see what Thor Ragnarok's like. We'll see that.
I'm excited with anything.
End of next month?
He's got his hands on. That sounded wrong.
What's that line from the movie? It's like, oh, and you turn around, you open your eyes, it's not the Fanta door, not the Doritos door, all this delicious confectionery. Hunt for the Wilder, people. If you haven't seen it, go out and watch it. Oh. You are doing yourself a massive disservice if you haven't seen it.
That's a great movie. What's that line go? That famous
again,
line.
Bobby, do it again.
I want to hear it.
Which
kicking,
it's like
spitting.
Setting things on fire, loitering, graffiti.
How does it start? She's like, "What's he in trouble for?" Or something like.
Oh, what's
it's like, "What's he in trouble for?" Kicking, loitering, and the foster parents just stand there like, "Really? This is what he's in trouble for?"
I love when towards the end of the movie, and they have to like send up a drone to help find them in the wilderness. And she goes, "Release the stingray," and then it cuts to a close-up shot, and it's spelt stingray. The best thing ever.
That's great.
Oh, we love our Kiwi
Don't
cousins.
you love it? Yeah.
And my last bit of news, because this is big, this is comic book news, guys, because I know you read comics. As Marvel comic book news, so Patrick's ears are just perked up. Okay. Marvel Legacy, because Marvel is sort of, well, not rebooting their series, but they're sort of re-releasing all their legacy characters. Like, you know, they got rid of Fantastic Four, and they've had different people. You know, we had Sam Wilson as Captain America for a couple of years, because Cap, you know, he lost the super soldier serum, failed him, and he turned into like a withered little old man, so he passed on the mantle of Captain America to someone else. And we've had like all these different characters playing characters we know. So they're going back to do Marvel Legacy, and they're sort of bringing back all these characters, you know, like legacy characters, Captain America, Iron Man, all these other characters.
Oh, yeah.
But the first book is about to come out in like a day or two, but Marvel, in their wisdom, released this, I think they had like an article with the New York Times or the Post or something like that. This big, I think it was like an interview with like Alex Alonso, and they pretty much spoiled one of the biggest parts of the first issue in the article, like 2 days before it's meant to come out, because any publicity is good publicity.
Is it for a new Captain America or something?
No. Spoiler alert, guys. 3, 2, 1. Wolverine is back from the dead. And he has an Infinity Stone. Because Wolverine, 3 years ago, they killed off Wolverine. They had the death of Wolverine. And Wolverine lost his powers, and he was dying, and by the end of it, he got encased head to toe in adamantium. And he was pretty much just this big blobby adamantium statue. And in the interview...
Han Solo'd him, basically.
Yeah, they Han Solo'd him. That's exactly right. Except he didn't come back, like in the next movie.
Yeah.
He is now. Yeah. So in this interview with Alex Alonso, they're like, oh, we've had like 3 years without Wolverine. I'm like, that's bullshit, because as soon as they got rid of Wolverine, they brought in Laura Kinney, X-23. She became the new Wolverine. And then they brought in Old Man Logan from like the other timeline. They merged him with the 616 universe. And so he's been getting around with the X-Men and everything, you know, cashing in on that Logan money as well.
Oh, yeah.
So we've had like 2 different Wolverines for the last couple of years. But now we're getting the real Wolverines back.
Ah, right.
This is the complaint that I've heard the comic book readers talk about all the time, is there was a time back a couple of decades ago where a character died and it really meant something. Whereas now it's like, you can kill them and they'll be back like next week, and it's no big thing. Like,
loses
you can't
the
get
impact.
invested in the characters. Like there's no worries if they lose that fight and they die, because you'll be like, oh, you know, I'll have a year off and Season 2 will come along and they'll be fucking back alive again.
Yeah.
That's like Marvel now. They constantly reboot their books. Like a book will run for 12 or 25 issues or 30 issues, and then they'll reboot it. They'll take it back to issue 1. Even if it's still playing the same, like, continuity, the same story, they'll just go back and, you know, slap it number 1 on it to make up, you know, that money. Like bring entry readers in. Oh, I'm not going to come in at issue 20. I've missed out on so much. Oh, issue 1, I'll pick that up. That's from the beginning.
That's the thing, though. Like that trying to appeal to entry readers. Actually, me being an entry reader over and over and over, trying to get in, I don't know where to start, because there's so many fucking number 1s.
That's right.
It doesn't make sense to me. I'm like,
That's like me with Spider-Man. I think I was talking to you a few months back about how I just really wanted to invest into like a Spider-Man comic, just one.
Yeah, we did have that chat.
Didn't matter if it was like 10 years old. I was like, I just want one that I can just read an entire series of like
entire run,
100 books or something. But there's just, I can't pick one because there's too much going on out there.
Yeah, there's too much going on, and
I don't know what to get. Like,
and they number them weird.
Yeah,
like they'll number them, you know, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, but then they'll have like 1.1, 1.2, 1.3, you know, all this sort of stuff. And like you were saying, Bob, like the Flash, like in 84, 85, something like that, they killed off Barry Allen, the Flash, and he was dead in the books for 20, 25, nearly 30 years before they brought him back. So yeah, no consequences anymore.
no,
They just want that money.
money.
Dollar bills. That's all my news. I have no more news.
no more. The end.
Now what? now,
Does anyone want to bring anything up? Or the floor is yours. Say whatever you want.
Did you guys see the that thing I linked before, the Last of Us poster? You see that?
Oh,
what was that about?
okay.
What's going on?
You ever watch Harvey Birdman, Bob?
Yeah.
And what's his name? Potamus always comes in. He's like, "Did you get that thing I sent you?" I was just thinking of that. Just did you get that thing I sent you? It's just like Birdman's in like the shitter, and he's like outside the door. He's like, "Birdman, is that you? You in there? Did you get that thing I sent you?"
I haven't seen that. I have to admit.
Oh, sorry, Pat. Last of Us poster.
Yeah, I was. I mean, I looked at it before, and it was. Hang on, where is it?
Is this an official poster they've put out?
Yeah, apparently, yeah. It's like a.
Because it's the second one, like from what I was reading.
Yeah, for The Last of Us 2, promo, isn't it? So promo posters, and apparently it's got some hidden meanings in the poster. So it's like, there's two. There's one for Joel and one for Ellie.
I never got that.
Yeah, in the poster. So it's like, I'll show you now.
It's just like a fist.
That's Joel's with holding like an axe, a hammer. Sorry. Maybe we'll share this later if you want. And then there's Ellie's, which is like her arm, and all her tattoos are kind of like floating off her arm.
I've seen that before. That
yeah,
one, yeah. And
then it's interesting with Joel's because it's actually there's like a fire and a forest behind him, but if you look closely, the heat from the flames are like forming like a wolf's the shape of a wolf's face.
And the colours like its nose and stuff.
Yeah. And there's like two little dots for its eyes and stuff you can see. And
okay,
I thought that's really interesting. I haven't had a good read yet, but there's hidden meanings in the posters. I love when designers do that with posters, like or companies. It means more than just a Photoshop poster. Like I like it when they do that. So yeah, that was interesting.
Speaking of video games, by the time you hear this, it'll well and truly be out. But there's a Red Dead Redemption 2 announcement in like 2 days, which I assume is going to be the story trailer and perhaps a release date. Well, it'd have to be a release date.
What would you do?
They listened to our podcast the other week, and they took all our notes, and they're gonna
get back to us.
Yeah.
Wouldn't you just die though if in 2 days and they're like, the game's out, it's in the shops?
Oh man,
I'd just be like, holy crap! That
would be a way to sell a lot of fucking games.
That'd be a game breaker. A game breaker. I don't know.
If they just did like a Fallout 4 and then released this trailer, say it's a trailer,
yeah.
And say the game's out in like 4 months. It's like, it's out just after Christmas.
Yeah.
I'm like, whoa,
fuck. I bet they will too. They will have a date at the end, I bet you.
I imagine it'll probably be 4 or 5 months into next year. So probably about 6 to 8 months from now. But yeah, still, it's coming.
It's going to be good.
Yeah, I'm dying for it.
Can't wait.
It will be a prequel though.
Yeah.
In Dutch's gang.
Yeah, definitely.
Don't have any
John
doubts
Morrison.
about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, might go into the topic. Our topic this. Fucking hell. Bob, you can tell everyone what our topic is.
Childhood movies that rocked our world.
Movies that rocked our childhoods.
Yep.
So we thought of this the other day because we're not really children of the 80s. We were born in the mid-80s, but we only got the last 5 years of it, but we're still as much 80s kids as we are 90s kids.
5 years.
Yeah, fuck great 5 years. Yeah.
We just scraped in there.
So we've seen a lot of movies when we were kids, like especially in the 80s. There was a lot of stuff we probably shouldn't have watched, and a lot of kids' movies that were really probably a bit too dark and a bit too scary that fucked us up. So we're going to talk about a lot of different movies today from our childhood, stuff we liked, stuff that had big impacts, and stuff we probably shouldn't have fucking watched. I might kick it off.
All right.
All right. I've got a list here. I've just been doodling down the list the last couple of days.
Tell me, mate.
So we've talked about these heaps, but I'm just going to get this off the top because we talk about it a lot. But T2, Terminator 2, Judgment Day. Yep. I saw that when I was like 6 or 7.
Yep.
I probably shouldn't have, but I'm glad I did. Yeah.
Were you, on your first viewing, were you like more scared or were you like excited?
It was pretty. Oh no, it was like kind of imposing, I guess.
Yeah.
Some of it was kind of pretty scary.
Haunt your dreams.
Yeah, not haunting my dreams, but I'm like, ooh, this is a bit.
The guy just
should
got
I be
his
watching
face
this?
smashed in.
I'm 6 in like 1991. Like, what am I watching this? You know,
on VHS was it?
Yeah. My dad had Remember those TV ads where you used to sign up? You used to get like the John Wayne collection. They send you a movie every month on VHS. Yeah, my dad was signed up to like the Arnold Schwarzenegger one. So he used to get like, one month it was Predator, and then the next month it was Total Recall, and the next month it was Terminator. And
Conan.
That'd be
Conan, Red
awesome.
Heat. Yeah.
All you see these days is like, watch the Flying Doctors and Sullivans.
The Sullivans.
Only 3 easy payments of $348 and you get 3-disc DVD set.
Country practice.
Except for all those shows, it's like Prisoner. Was it Prisoner?
Oh, yeah,
Prison Block. Whatever the Australian show was. It's like 72 discs or whatever.
Oh,
it was.
yeah.
Fucking outrageous, because the show went for like 11 years or something. I'm going to throw out another one. Another movie that rocked my childhood. I'm going to jump forward to the mid-90s. Mortal Kombat.
Oh, yeah. In there for me too.
Winner, yeah.
Fuck, the amount of times I watched that movie, I was, 10 when that came out?
Yeah.
Holy fuck. Like, if you were a boy in school when this came out, everyone had seen it.
Yeah.
It was fucking great. And those gore effects still hold up, I think. Those animatronics.
I first saw that when I was in Boy Scouts. I was in like...
Patrick Brown was in the Boy Scouts!
Yeah.
Oh, maybe we'll hear about that in episode 25
It was in
Bring your badges in.
Yeah. It was in Ulverston. And I lived in Ulverston then. And I went to Boy Scouts.
Wow, I never knew that.
They had like... There was like this big warehouse that the Boy Scouts had it. That's where you had it. And they had like a sleepover or a slumber party. So we all go there and you'll learn how to like... It was inside, but it was like as if you were supposed to...
I bet it was.
Oh, man. I just had memories about this thing the other day, actually, on the way back from Wynyard. I passed an old building where they had, like, Navy cadets, and I like, one of my mates was right into it, and he's like, you got to come along and be a Navy cadet. And I went for one night, basically. Yeah. And I was just, like, standing around. They teach you how to tie a tie, and I just had to stand at attention for, like, fucking 45 hours and just like learn how to do one of these knots. And my mate's like, "You gonna come back next week?" And I'm like, "Fuck no!" That was the most boring piece of shit ever, man.
I actually really did. I didn't like going to Boy Scouts. I didn't enjoy it. And they did ours was tying knots like with rope and learning all the different knots and stuff. But they had this sleepover thing, and it was all they had the movie, and it's the first time I watched that. And there was also Power Rangers, that Power Rangers movie. They had the first one.
Ivan Ooze.
Oh, and I first watched that, and I was like, that was awesome. But the Mortal Kombat one, and then they had the game as well. They had like the Mega Drive over there.
Oh, sweet.
And people would put that on with Mortal Kombat on, and that's the first time I saw like a gory game like that, and everyone like pulling spines out of their bodies and all this stuff. And I was like, this is awesome. I was like, I loved it.
I still like watching Mortal Kombat now. Those are $500 sunglasses, asshole.
Oh, yeah.
Here's a fun fact for you.
Yeah.
With Mortal Kombat is a movie. That soundtrack, I still own the soundtrack.
Yeah,
I fucking
my brother
loved
does too.
It totally introduced me. Yeah. Ding, 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 But that soundtrack introduced me to a whole new style of music, which was like industrial in the 90s.
Oh, yeah.
And that sort of informed my musical taste right through my teenage years. I listened to a whole bunch of other stuff, but I was like a real industrial...
Green Day.
You know... yeah, Green Day and industrial gothic metal. But weirdly enough, like, if you think about it, like, that movie informed my music decisions, which then, in turn, like, I introduced you guys into the industrial stuff. And, like, I mean, that song that you mentioned tonight is probably a result of, like, the industrial stuff that I like introduced you all those years ago.
How the wheel turns.
Well, that movie...
Thank you, Mortal Kombat.
Thank you, Paul W.S.
That movie really did rock your childhood then. There you go.
It did, and yours.
Nice work, Pat. You worked at him really well. Yeah. Who's got one? I've got a big list here. I'm just sort of just going to jump back and forward through the years. So, you want to go, Pat?
Oh, yeah, sure. Well, one of my big ones, I'll go with the one that probably most impacted my childhood would probably be the Ninja Turtles movie.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the movie.
The movie.
Shit.
All of them.
All right, I've got to ask you. Did you have the first movie on VHS?
Yeah. Yep.
Did you have the green cassette?
Yes.
Yes!
I did. I remember that. I remember it well.
Oh man, I got it on VHS in the bedroom. I should have brought it in. Damn it.
It was really cool because it had like I remember the feeling of not really, I shouldn't be watching it, but that I can. Like,
It was a dark movie.
it was kind of dark.
Yeah, it was, yeah.
And it was like, oh, this is like an adult movie, but it's not. Like, and it felt like a bit naughty to watch, but it wasn't. Like, and they had some really cool adult jokes in there, I think, as well, and stuff like that. And
It was a very, like, the whole theme of the movie and stuff was very, like, dark and, well, not dark, it was, like, just serious. Like, it was family was, like, the key thing, whereas the second and third one, they really kind of started hamming it up a bit.
Yeah,
for the
cartoony,
kids,
yeah.
You know?
Oh, yeah.
But that first one, man, it holds up today. Have you watched it recently? Or?
No, I should actually.
It's fucking great. Like,
Yeah, it is a great movie.
there was a cinema over when I was living in Melbourne a couple of years ago, and they ran it for a night, and I went down with my mate and watched it, and it's fucking so good to see on the big screen. Yeah.
T-U-R-T-L-E power, T-U-R-T-L-E power, T-U-R-T-L-E power, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
I had everything.
And a half show, the heroes for. In this day and age, who can ask for more? That's it, no more.
I was huge on Ninja Turtles back then too. Like I had, I remember having the toy. You had like there was this massive toy thing you get in the 90s. And it was like it was like an entire city street, and then you have like a sewer pot that you can go in. You can go down the hole, and there's under sewer kind of underground
the
thing.
turtle lair.
The turtle lair, and you got the Ninja
awesome.
Turtle characters, and you can put them down the manhole, and they go down, and you're underneath, and you're into like the sewer and
I
stuff.
used to look at that on the back of the boxes and just like wish that I could get that.
I think I got it for Christmas or something once. Oh, it's amazing.
I had the turtle van and the turtle blimp.
I think I had that too, the van.
And the lid opened up.
Yeah.
Like you flip the lid up and everything sit them all inside.
Yeah.
They didn't sit because they were like hard posed.
Oh,
so you could
huge.
drop them in there.
Huge on the turtles then.
Yeah.
Man, if
good
you went
times.
to buy a turtle van now, you would pay fucking $300-$500
That'd be
easily.
crazy. Yeah.
I also had the He-Man mountain one that had like the skull mounted.
Castle
on the screen.
Grayskull.
Yeah, and you open it up.
Oh, get fucked.
I had that with He-Man and the skull.
That's awesome.
You're the rich
Skeletor.
kid that I used to want to come around.
Nah, I was actually total opposite. Mum was just real generous. She'd do anything to get anything.
I used to have
for
to
you.
go around to my mate's place to play with all the cool shit. Like, he had like Shredder's dome thing, the
Technodrome.
Technodrome, yeah. That was so cool. Yeah, he had all the cool shit. I used to just go and like stay at my mate's place as much as possible.
Awesome.
Play with all his shit.
Wicked.
There's another one though. You brought it up. He-Man, fucking Masters of the Universe.
Yeah, I
was
love that movie.
a movie.
I never saw that.
Oh man, I don't think our video shop ever had it on the shelf because like every weekend we'd come back in and I'd hire it again go and watch it again. We're like, no one else is watching this movie.
So you just re-get it.
I couldn't actually tell you anything about the movie now. Like it
was a Canon film.
Yeah.
Canon was a very low budget film studio in the 80s. There's this great fucking documentary about Canon films. It's called what's it called? Electric Boogaloo.
right.
It's like the highs and lows of like 80s Canon films. It's actually a really good watch just to learn about like all the sort of shit they used to do. Because they used to buy scripts like real cheap. They'd buy like 10 or 15 scripts and they'd make like, you know, like 10 movies out of those, like on the cheap.
Yeah.
And 2 of them would be successful and 8 of them wouldn't. But it didn't matter because the movies were that cheaply produced. The 2 movies that were successful justified the money spent on the 8 others that failed. And that was one of Canon's. That was one of their more expensive films as well. And the last couple of Superman films, like Superman 3 and 4, were both Canon films as well.
Okay.
Oh, I forgot
But
about
Masters of the Universe, that fucking Drew Struzan poster
that. Yeah.
of Dolph Lundgren and Skeletor and that.
Yep.
Fucking ace.
He does the best.
Ace.
I'm pretty sure that was the main reason I kept renting it out from the video shop. Was the cover of the
He's done like
VHS.
he's done like most of the covers we know from the 80s and 90s. Like, think about it. Hook.
Even recently, like he did like posters for like the Harry Potter films, like the first few Harry Potters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll mention one more.
Yeah, hit us with another one.
That one that I actually totally forgot about until I saw it today when I was looking up some movies from the 90s, the 80s. I think it was 80s or whatever. Harry and the Hendersons. Do you remember that?
Harry and the Hendersons, yeah.
That's like Bigfoot, where the family go on that drive.
They accidentally hit him.
Yeah, they hit
And they
Bigfoot.
take him home.
they take him home and he becomes a part of the family, Bigfoot. And like, that would have been when I was 5 or 6 or something like that, because I was so young and I saw that and it really stuck with me. I thought, that is crazy. And I remember the start of it when they hit him and I was like, oh no. And then I don't know, I just remember being so shocked, and then I was so happy because they've taken him on. I was like, this is a great movie.
And then at the end when they take him back to the forest, he's like, you don't belong with us, go. And then he's like turns around, he's like crying and shit. You're like, oh fuck. That was actually like that was the
my
basis.
biopic.
That was the basis of a great 30 Rock episode.
Oh really?
Yeah, it's called Goodbye My Friend.
Oh,
It was like, yeah, because what happened in that episode mirrored Harry and the Hendersons.
Oh, yeah.
And they were like playing off that back and forwards. And yeah, it was a fucking great episode.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Bob, throw us some corkers, mate.
All right, I'll save another one for later. Toy Story. I mean,
Of course, Toy Story.
It's
Yeah.
in there.
Absolutely.
As an animator, fucking hell, I went to the cinema and watched that when it was about 10 or 11, and it was one of those ones where you walk out and you're just like, how the fucking hell did they do that?
Yeah.
I don't understand. I'm like,
They're ahead of their time.
They
aren't
can't draw that. I'm like, I kind of had a grasp already of sort of animated movies. I don't know how. I think I was just kind of interested when I was a kid about like how to make it. But then when Toy Story came along, I watched it and I could not work it out. I'm like, have they
changed everything, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's not like stop motion where you can see like a plasticine toy moving around, but it looks like a toy. But I'm like, what the hell?
I remember that feeling, yeah.
And so I went home after that and I spent like a good year just like
Trying to understand it.
Looking into it, trying to like asking questions, working it out. I'm like, how do they do it? Watching as many kind of like making of things that I could get a hold of. I mean, there wasn't that much around in the 90s.
No. You could barely get a hold of like whatever was on the internet. Like, especially videos were not really like that. Like, hard to get a video on the internet back then.
Well, yeah, I mean, I couldn't download videos on the internet in
YouTube.
1996. But you know, I was just running around like libraries and shit, trying to work out like what is this computer graphics and how do I do that? So
that's awesome.
That kind of helped me a big time. Like Ren and Stimpy was the turning point in my life where I was like, I need to become a cartoonist.
You want to do that, yeah.
But then when I saw Toy Story, I was like, I have to know how this computer stuff works. Like, this is the future kind of thing.
First one that did it for me. Actually, the first movie I ever saw at a cinema was Dinosaurs, it's called. And that was the first. That was probably really early 3D. So I think that's just before Toy Story or so. And that one was in the cinema, and that was like one of the first 3D visual movies I'd ever seen. And and I was the same. That hit me the same kind of way. I was like, how did they do that? What is this? And I couldn't understand it. But that was cool. Yeah. Toy Story's a winner.
And Lion King as well. That was another animated one.
Yeah.
Holy shit. Like, I mean, Disney movies, like all of them hit me as a kid, and I loved every single one. But The Lion King is one that's like never gone away. Like, it's
seminal.
Yeah.
One Disney movie that freaked me out when I was a kid was Dumbo, because we had Dumbo on VHS.
All right.
And where Dumbo and I forget his name, his little mouse buddy, they get drunk on champagne and they hallucinate like all the pink elephants, like the song and dance scene. That used to freak me out when I was a fucking kid. I was like, this trippy fucking hallucinogenic fucking thing. And I was like, oh, this is kind of scary. These pink elephants are kind of fucking scary. I'm 4. This is shit. I got a few corkers.
Yep.
The Land Before Time.
Yes.
If you ever wanted to traumatize your child in the 80s, put on a kids' film.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Littlefoot, Sarah, Petrie, Ducky. Oh, man, that was a great movie. Sharptooth. Oh, God.
How does it start? Like, his parents die, isn't it? Like, right at the start?
His mother's killed.
Yeah.
By the Sharptooth protecting them. And his grandparents have... I can't really remember. It's been years since I've seen it. But they have to make their way to the Great Valley, like this mythical, like, Great Valley.
Yep.
And it's all of them. They're separated from, like, all their parents and their families, and they make their way to all the time they're being stalked by this fucking T-Rex that killed his mum.
That movie got a lot of fucking play in my house. Like, holy shit. We watch. Me and my mates all used to watch that over and over and over up until about 6 or 7. But far out.
Yeah, so did we. Like, my mum was into them. She bought them like right up until 5 or 6, and that's when I sort of stopped watching. But I'll throw you a couple more. Short Circuit.
Oh, is this the
Johnny Five?
Yeah.
Johnny Five is alive.
It's like the 80s version of Wall-E sort of thing.
I always loved that movie. That was really fun. That was a really fun movie. This one's a bit... I'll save that one. I'll save that one for my next go around. This is the very first movie I ever saw at the cinema. I was like 3 or 4. The Adventures of Milo and Otis.
Oh, shit.
I fucking remember...
Wow.
I couldn't have only been like 3 or 4, but I remember everything about that cinema trip. We sat up in the balcony, like in the balcony seating, back when you had like balcony theatre seating, and I remember watching that. The most vivid part I remember of the movie is Milo, where he's in the crate in the river, and he's going down the river. And I'm like, oh, he's getting far away, and Otis is chasing him, and you're like, oh, Jesus, fuck.
Yeah. I remember that too. I was probably the same age. Like, one of my earliest movie memories ever, I would say, like probably 3 or so. 3 or 4. Yeah, same.
Gonna take a walk outside today.
Yeah.
Gonna see what we can find today.
That song, I still sing it.
Yeah. But they all live happily ever after in the end. They have families and they get reunited and they get back to the farm and like, oh, it's magical.
You made it. But the other 12 or 13 other Milos and Otises that we killed making the movie didn't make it.
Another movie you just reminded me of. I don't know why, but like because the dog and the cat. One that kind of haunted me as a kid that kind of I shouldn't have seen it when I was that young was I think it was like Einstein or something where there's a scene in the movie.
Oh, young Einstein.
All I remember is there's a scene and there's some butcher guy or some big...
He's going to cook the kittens. He puts the kittens in the pie.
Puts the kittens
and he puts the pie in the oven. Yeah.
Puts kittens in the oven.
Is this young Einstein?
Yeah, young Einstein.
And turns the fire on and stuff. And I saw it as a kid.
And you hear all the kittens are like, mew, 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 mew,
yeah.
mew. And then he grabs the pie out and he breaks like all of the crust off. But the cats are okay. But, Albert Einstein is from Tasmania.
Yeah,
he invents beer, bubbles in beer, and he invents rock and roll.
He's got the
electric guitar
with the like the electric violin or something.
That's a bloody great Australian film.
That movie, really shocked me. That was the first time I was really shocked when I saw something. I couldn't believe it.
Yahoo serious.
Yeah.
I'm going to throw this out. This might be super controversial, but this is one movie that I have seen, but a lot of people who grew up around the same time, it was a big part of their childhood, but I can't fucking stand E.T.
Oh, yeah?
Really?
Nah, does absolutely nothing for me.
I saw it once or twice as a kid.
I haven't seen it in the last 15 years, maybe 20.
No,
but I loved it when I was a kid.
I put it on about 3 days ago for Mason, and he sat there and watched it the whole time, and he's like, Alien. So he's only 2.5.
He's bloody switched on, that kid of yours. One more, because I've got a massive list. Space Jam.
Oh, yeah. Good choice.
That was a lot of fun. I got the VHS
awesome.
of that. I got like this special like silver coin that came with it. Had like the Monstars and Bugs Bunny and that on the other side.
Have you guys, I don't know, the last time I checked, which was only about 6 months ago, if you go to spacejam.com, still the same intact 1996 website.
Oh, what?
With like fucked up GIFs and all sorts of shit. Like, yeah, go check that site out,
awesome.
see if it's still up. But it's, hasn't changed.
That movie was, because I, obviously being into drawing and animation, like, I really loved watching, and I was massive on Looney Tunes, all of them, and I'd watched all the cartoons around that same period. So, and then watching that movie, how polished they made them. Like, it wasn't just an episode, like the characters didn't look like that. They were polished and like almost, they weren't 3D, they were still 2D, but they had shading and it was amazing. Like, yeah.
And Bill Murray playing himself. Always great.
Yeah.
There you go. I brought it up on my phone. It's still got like the tiled background.
The whole background's tiled and everything.
There's like
that is crazy.
256 color GIFs and
that's awesome.
Oh, Jesus. Space Jam.
Somebody's been paying like 21 years of bloody domain hosting.
Yeah. Yeah.
Website.
Wow. Who's your favourite Looney Tunes character, Pat?
Mine is Wile E. Coyote and
Same.
Roadrunner.
I love Wile E. Coyote.
They're my two favourites.
Bob?
I'd probably say Daffy.
Daffy.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good pick.
Yeah.
Yeah, nice.
All right, Pat, you got a few more for us, mate?
Yeah, I'll throw a bunch at you. I'll start off with, like, when we were talking about, like, our childhood movies that scared us or freaked us out because we were too young.
Yeah, let's do a round of them.
So the one that messed me up as a kid, like, it affected me. Gremlins, loved the movie.
Oh, man.
Great movie and all, but the fact that they popped up out of the toilet and stuff, that's the same movie, isn't it? Yeah.
And in the cupboard as
And
well.
I think there might have been a scene in one of the movies where he comes out with a guy sitting on the toilet trying to do a dump or something. And then there's a gremlin comes up and I think scratches him or grabs him or something like that. And ever since then, I never wanted to sit on a toilet again, ever. Like,
Is that why you wear nappies?
but it freaked me out that much that I was like, I don't know why, but I believed that they were real, and like, I'm too scared to sit down, so I'd be really quick, and then I'd go. I was too scared they were going to come up and like rip my balls off or something. Literally, I was like that freaked out.
That movie was kind of polarizing because this is kind of like a kid's family film, but it's like real dark and violent as well.
Yeah.
That's
And
like
grotesque little monsters.
Yeah.
And another movie, It was the early It from way back.
The miniseries.
Yeah, I think my sisters or someone, because they were like 5 years older than me and whatever, and I'm pretty sure they were watching it, but I was supposed to be in bed and I snuck out and like hid behind the couch and watched it when I wasn't meant to. And there was like a lot of scenes in there that just messed me up, and I had nightmares ever since. Like something about, I don't know, I can't remember specifics, but it messed me up.
It was that cover too, like the torn page and like the big, gangly, monstrous fingers like coming over the edge.
Yeah.
That was like back in my
And
video
that was
shop.
all like bumpy. Remember you used
Embossed,
to pick
yeah.
up- yeah.
Yeah.
At my town video shop, Fitzy's, the horror section used to be right at the back, but it was in like the darkest section of the shop. So I never went down there because I was like too scared to go around the back. But then when I got a bit older, I got a bit braver, and I just like power walked through, looking straight ahead, and like never looked. And like out of the corner of my eye, I could just see like all these like black VHS covers, so they were like all embossed and everything. Back when VHS covers used to be embossed, it was fucking
awesome
great.
ones.
Yeah, you take the stack to the counter, but they'd all just fall over because they're all embossed.
Yeah.
on top of
Uneven,
it.
yeah.
Bob?
Okay, so one that stands out that really fucked with me when I was a kid, and this was so there's a funny story behind this. My parents went out for a night and they hired a babysitter, and it was like this girl from across the street, and she was like a teenager and pretty good looking, and I was like,
Hey.
I'm gonna stay up and watch movies with this.
Be
with
brave.
this lady who's like
Here we
looking
go.
after me. And so she brings around some movies to watch, and obviously chucks one in there that's like meant to be after the kids go to bed, and I'm like, no, I'm like 9, I'm fine, I can watch this. And so she puts on The Crow, and I love the movie now. I've watched it quite a few 100 million times, but when I was a kid, holy shit, that scared the absolute fucking pants off of me.
It's super dark, isn't it? Like real dark and grim.
And that, like, here I was trying to, like, put on a brave face in front of this, like, hot babysitter girl looking after me, and I'm just, like, watching kind of Clockwork Orange style, just, like, prying my eyes open, trying to stay through the movie. And I go to bed that night and just have, like, the worst nightmares I think I've ever had in my life. Of just this guy, like, landing on my windowsill and just like... And yeah, I mean, because it's got like the drug guys there. They're shooting up heroin. There's that scene where they shoot up the whole fucking table full of mobsters and stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And she went on to tell me that like he died in that scene.
For real
shooting that. And I was like, that just fucked me up even further.
Yeah.
So, that movie like took a long time for me to come back to. And then when I finally did, I was like, oh, this is really cool.
Yeah, I'm a bit the same.
One franchise that I loved during the 90s that my family would always, like, my dad would always come back from the video shop with, like, the newest movie, was the Ernest series. So, like, Ernest saves Christmas, Ernest rides again, Ernest goes to jail, Ernest goes to camp, all these Ernest movies. I love them. I've got some on Blu-ray out there. I watched it, like, a couple of months ago. I watched Ernest Goes to Camp. But there was one Ernest movie, we went to our local, because I, like, sort of lived in a small, like, town on the west coast of Tasmania, and we had to travel, like, an hour and a half to get to, like, the first major city where we do, like, all our shopping and everything, and then we come home. On the way home, we stopped at this servo petrol station, and we were getting petrol, and I went in, because when you used to get out of the car while Dad was going to the shop, you walk around and have a look, and I was walking through the videos, and they had the new Ernest movie out. It's called Ernest Scared Stupid, and he's, like, coming out of, like, this big Halloween pumpkin. He's like, Jim Varney. And I'm like, oh, like, Dad, the new Ernest movie and that new Ernest movie. And he's like, well, have a look when we get home, and if it's there, we'll rent it. And I was like, yeah, cool, I'm excited, because I'm a kid, and I love Ernest. So we get back, and they've got it, and we rent it, and we get home, and I'm sitting there, and this movie fucking terrified the shit out of me. It's like they summoned this, like, ancient troll, with, like, this fucking grotesque head, and, like, animatronics and that. And, like, my brother's sitting there watching, who's older than me, and my sister's sitting there watching, who's younger than me, and I'm, like, down next to the couch by my mum's chair, just, like, curled up with my head down for, like, the next hour 20 while the movie's playing. Just, like, curled up there, like, holding my knees, just, like, listening to the movie. It fucking terrified the shit out of me.
Shit.
Wow.
And I watched it again, like, last year, and I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with me? But it's like Troll, like, turning kids into, like, little wooden, like, statues and shit. And it's fucked.
Wow.
Yeah. That's one from me.
Yeah.
But I have another one as well.
All right.
The Witches as well.
Oh.
The Witches, where they're in the it's not a ballroom, it's like a big conference area, and all these, like, old women turn into, like, these grotesque, like, Jim Henson makeup witches was fucking terrifying. Like, if you watch that scene now, you'd shit. And then they, like, turn these kids into, like, mice, or this kid into a mouse. Yeah, they turn the kids into mice.
Yeah.
And it's fucked. This is fucked. This is dark and gross, and yeah, it was horrible.
Wow.
Bloody horrible. And The Dark Crystal. Not that I ever watched that much when I was a kid.
Oh,
we didn't
yeah.
own that, but we rented it out once or twice, and that movie was a bit intense for younger audiences.
And The Labyrinth, that got me.
I love Labyrinth.
That's because it's a good movie, but then it's like, when I watched it, I must have been young enough to, it kind of freaked me out too, because it had all these like, what were they, like that little short guy, and he had like a big fat nose, little dwarf dude.
Hoggle.
Yeah, like they had creatures and stuff in there, like monsters and
Yeah, the Jim Henson. There's
workshop
animatronic. Oh, yeah, animatronics.
No, just puppets.
Yeah.
Mostly.
And
there's
it was,
a
like,
scene
so
where
creepy.
Jennifer Connelly, she falls down a pit, like a hole, and the camera's like following her down as she's falling, but in the as she's falling down this hole, there are all these hands like reaching out, like trying to grab her as she's falling, and she's like,
that.
I have a massive crush on Jennifer Connelly, by the way. I have done for like the last 15 years.
I remember watching that. I had the first time I watched it, I had chicken pox. I was only about 8 or 9 years old.
Yeah.
And I was staying home from school, and the Olympic Games was on. So it must have been like maybe 11 or something. I don't know.
2000 Olympics?
Whenever no, it would have been like 96.
96.
I reckon.
Yeah.
96 or 92. Must be 96. Had the chicken pox. Olympics was on all fucking week. And I'm like, I'm so sick to death of watching fucking Olympics.
Back when we only had like 2 channels.
Yeah.
And then, so I got lucky one day, and they fucking switched off the Olympics and put on this movie, like a midday movie. And it was a Labyrinth. And I was like, this is my new favorite thing. I watched that movie over and over and over after that. I loved it. It's so good.
It's good.
And now I watch it and go, yeah, it's okay.
I have a big soft spot for that movie.
I like Bowie in it, but I think I got a lot of nostalgia for it, but I don't think it's a particularly great movie when you watch it back now. Yeah.
There's I've got 2 favorites that, like, you know, just great, enjoyable little movies back from way back. Jumanji was one of the big ones I really, really enjoyed back when I was a kid.
That was the one the teachers always rolled out the VHS.
Yeah.
The telly.
Do you know, I think that's actually where I first saw it. I think in like English class or something like that, and they reel it in.
Yeah.
You know, and
One thing I always loved about that movie was like, we had board games when we were kids. They come in like little crappy like cardboard boxes and you like peel the lid off. But they pull out this game in the movie. It's like this like carved wooden thing, and they like open it, like folds open. It's all like intricate and beautiful. I was like,
awesome.
I've never had a bloody board game like that before.
Yeah.
And board games were the shit in the 90s.
Fuck yeah. Board games still are the shit.
How bad did you want to buy Nightmare? Like, was it Nightmare?
My brother had like, because we were like into Star Trek, he had like Star Trek Next Generation, like version of that game, like the VHS board game.
Yeah.
And you're playing it. It just had like it had like the, like you're flying through space and had like the ship sound like, and then it'd be like, and like the Klingon dude like comes on the screen. He's like, oh, and he's like barking orders at you. And you like have to answer him. He's like, every time he comes up, he's like, yes, Captain Kovac.
So Nightmare was that, wasn't it?
I used to see those on the trailer, like before the trailers on the VHS, they always used to advertise the Nightmare board game. Yeah. And I was just like, fuck, I want that.
Does it have like werewolves and vampires and stuff pop up or whatever or something like that? Is that what it was?
Something like that, yeah. I never got to own it. But yeah. It's weird now. You offer a board game to a kid these days and they'll be like, fuck that shit away from me.
Where we were just playing a Monopoly night earlier.
Another big favourite of mine was Ace Ventura, like all of them.
Oh, yes.
Massive.
Dick.
All like through the 90s. I just
anything Jim
loved
Carrey
it.
in the 90s.
Yeah, anything Jim Carrey.
Especially the first Ace Ventura.
He's still one of my favourite actors ever. Like, he's the greatest. And Ghostbusters, stuff like that. Really big in my childhood. Loved it. Another one that actually was quite scary for me was Aliens, I think it was, or Alien, the first one maybe. Saw that when I was a bit too young, and
my mum wouldn't let me near that for a long time.
Oh yeah. See, I saw it when I went round to a friend's house. We were about 10, I think. I went round to this guy I knew from school, I think, and I just went round his house, just got my bike, went round there, and he played it for me. Like, he's like, oh, Mum's not home, I'll just put this on, and he knew that we weren't really allowed to watch it. He's like, no, just put it on, and and I hadn't seen it, so freaked me out. Like, we watched the whole thing. That was around the same time. They had all the alien figures in Toy World, like those really detailed like xenomorphs you could buy, and
I had one
with the squirty head.
Yeah, the gorilla xenomorph. Yeah. Bobby and I both had that. Yeah,
that was a good time. Just
Ghostbusters 2 always freaked me out because Vigo, the painting, always freaked me out.
That's another one for me too.
That, yeah.
I bought a massive print of that off eBay, so I've got like this massive like Vigo print. I'm going to get framed.
Yeah,
that's right. That scared the absolute fucking shit out of
me. I was like, scared to look at other pictures from then, you know.
Oh, here's one we haven't mentioned. We've nearly mentioned everything on my list. Beetlejuice.
Beetlejuice. Yeah.
You reminded me another of
that was somewhere in the middle ground of like freaking me out a little bit, but it was comical enough that it didn't really scare the shit out of me.
It was kind of fun.
Yeah.
I was really into the cartoon. The Beetlejuice cartoon.
Yeah, shit. I forgot about that.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
If you get the Blu-ray now, it's got a couple episodes on it of the animated series. Yeah. Yeah. What have I got? Now, this is a big one for me. I've been saving this to a bit later because this is a good movie. Now, growing up, I was into Indiana Jones. Raiders of the Lost Ark. Never really watched that one much, but if Dad put on an indie film, it was always Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. Mm-hmm. And that was a fucking great movie. That movie is like, I dare say that's flawless, that movie.
Yeah.
It's just like, just like beat after beat, scene after scene, action scene, like the scene with the tanks, where like Indy's on the tank and he's fighting the German officer and he's like rolling up the tracks and stuff. But one bit about that movie that always freaked me out is at the end, Benedict or Bennett or whatever his name is, I forget his name. He drinks from the cup of life, the cup of Christ, but he picks the wrong cup and he starts to like age rapidly, and they do like this stop motion like figure where he gets real old and his skin like wrinkles and he turns into a skeleton and turns to dust.
Is that in the volcano bit? Is that bit?
No, that's in Temple of Doom.
Ah, right.
Yeah.
every time that bit come on, I was just like, turn my head away.
Oh, yeah.
And just like never watched that bit. When I
You
was a
could
younger
hear it,
man,
but you'd
yeah.
never see it.
And in Temple of Doom with Molaram, where he pulls the guy's heart out.
Ah, that, yeah. Yep.
Mumshy mum, mumshy mum.
And
He
it's
pulls
still
his heart
beating,
out,
isn't
yeah.
it? It's still beating in his hand.
The in America, they invented the PG-13 rating because of that movie,
Oh, wow.
Really?
Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom.
Oh.
Because it was a bit too dark. It wasn't PG movie, but it wasn't
Yeah.
an R movie. It was a bit too dark for kids. So, yeah. Even Spielberg says Temple of Doom is his least favourite. I think he said it's his least favourite film he's ever done.
They don't have like an M15.
No, they don't. No, they pretty much have their PG-13, which is like a shit rating. I think they need to rehaul their rating system over there. But
Yeah.
yeah.
'Cause
Anyway.
we got a few more stopgaps.
Yeah.
between-
Yeah.
yeah.
Like an MA for us is an R in America, and we still have another one after that.
Yeah.
So yeah. Cool Runnings.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
It's a
man,
good film.
yeah.
I only
Great
watched
movie.
that again a couple of months ago.
I saw
Yeah.
that at school. That's one of those ones they drag out in
Yeah.
the VHS.
Definitely.
Babe.
Babe, yeah.
Hook.
Hook, yes.
Another big one for me, Independence Day. That was a big one in 96.
yes.
Yeah.
That was massive in
Yeah.
96.
Yeah. I reckon 96 is about the turning point where I decided that, like, film was my domain. Like, things like, Toy Story and Independence Day came along.
Yeah.
Um,
Starting to get better, weren't they?
yeah. Earlier on, it was just kind of like whatever's on hand.
Men in Black.
Men in Black.
I went to the cinema and saw Men in Black.
That
Yeah.
was I'll admit that was my first soundtrack I ever.
Oh, yeah.
My first album
I did really like that movie.
at all was
Wow.
Men in Black album.
First single I ever bought was Lenny Kravitz's American Woman.
Do you know what my first CD
Must have
was?
been about the same time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My first CD ever that I ever bought was the Chipmunks.
Oh God.
Wow.
Yep.
This was big for me because as much as people give this movie shit, when you're a kid, this movie was fucking awesome. Batman Forever.
Yep.
That was
Yeah.
right when like McDonald's promotional thing was like massive, and you used to get
Yeah.
like cool toys,
The cool cups.
Yeah.
and you used to get like the cool glass mugs. We had all them. They
Yeah.
were great.
Yeah. People shit on that movie, but like being a kid at the time,
Yeah, that was
who was
exciting.
into Batman and stuff like that, I fucking loved that.
It was great for
it's
kids.
campy as all.
Yeah.
hell, like-
Who Framed Roger Rabbit?
Yeah.
Yes, yeah.
Chicken Run.
Chicken Run. Oh wow, that's getting a bit late. Oh, no.
Claymation, isn't
When
it?
is that?
That was like 98.
Oh, okay.
99?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, that was fun. That was a fun
Yeah.
movie.
I
I was
didn't
still a kid, technically. The Mask.
Oh,
That was a fun
yeah.
movie. I was obsessed with that movie.
That one
I
I watched
loved
heaps. That was good.
I had like the official movie magazine
Yep.
when they used to do official movie magazines,
Yeah.
and I used to draw pictures out of that all the time.
I used to draw the mask. He was one of my earlier drawings I used to do as
Yeah,
a
I
kid.
was the same. Because he's like a cartoon anyway. Like
He was the first one I ever did like a high detail drawing. Like I actually tried to do something a bit more than just cartoons. I went like tried to go realistic.
oh, okay.
Yeah, I was pretty young there.
Did anyone ever watch Willow from the 80s?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, Willow was
No.
big for us. Val Kilmer was great with like long hair and a sword.
Yeah,
Hell
What-
yeah.
what's his name? The
Warwick Davis?
Warwick Davis. Have you seen his show? Life's Too Short.
I've heard of it, no, but haven't seen it.
It's really funny. Yeah.
Yeah?
Give it a watch.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's a fun movie. Kind of dark as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
Dark fantasy, action fantasy. Oh, for me, Transformers the movie. The very first animated film where a major character was killed off. Optimus Prime is killed. And probably the biggest film of our childhood, pretty much for anyone's childhood, that rocked our worlds. Bloody Jurassic Park, mate.
yeah,
I mean,
that was massive.
fuck.
That was a good time.
That was a good time. That movie still holds up
Was that
so
90,
well.
95 something?
That
Like
93.
That
Wow.
one made dinosaurs cool again.
Yeah, it
Like,
did.
Everybody was buying dinosaurs.
I was still into
toys.
dinosaurs.
I was huge on dinosaurs even before that. I was.
Well,
and,
yeah, I guess like Land Before Time and stuff, and yeah, like there was a big dinosaur thing, but
And when that hit,
that just sent.
that's
My brother and I used to get like the dinosaur magazines, like
Yeah.
remember the dinosaur series you could get
Oh
yeah,
yeah,
from
the
the
glow in
news
the
agent.
dark,
Yeah.
thing. Yeah,
Yeah, the glow in the dark T-Rex you put together. Like
Yeah.
we both
and you
like
collect the
collected
bones
those.
and stuff.
And I remember we had like a dinosaur. We did like a dinosaur project in primary school, and everyone kept coming to me asking me for my opinion and advice and stuff, and wanting to know stuff. And I'm like sitting there and like, yeah, that's a Apatosaurus, and it's a leaf eater and everything, and you know,
people think this one's the T-Rex, but it's actually the Allosaurus.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Yeah, Allosaurus. Yeah, Carnosaurus has got a little horn on front, distinguishes it.
Oh, I used to love that stuff.
Oh man, I always only ever got like 2 issues of those like collector mall magazines. So I'd get the first one because it gives you like the most thing, you know, the most,
and it was the cheapest,
and it was the cheap one. And they're like, start your collection today. And you're like, yeah, I'm gonna build this whole dinosaur. And then I'll buy like, maybe I'll get another one just like accidentally on sale that's like 4 weeks past its past the issue date, and they put it on clearance, and I'm like, yes.
I'm pretty sure.
And then my parents are like, too bloody expensive, you know, because it costs you like $400 to build the whole dinosaur.
I think that's where my how I'm a big collector. I think that's where that started.
Oh yeah,
with those dinosaurs, the magazines.
I got 3 of those series from the newsagent when I was a kid. I collected 3 of them. The first one was dinosaurs. The second one was the Ancestral Trail. Do you remember that? Do you remember that ad?
So.
An epic story of myths, magic, and monsters.
Yeah, I do.
And the third one was it was called X Factor. It was like a supernatural, like, aliens, UFOs, monsters. Because I've always been
off
all
the back
that
of
sort of shit.
X-Files, probably.
Yeah. So I
There's
collected all
something
those.
that used to freak me out. The intro to X-Files used to scare the shit out of me.
I was going to mention that before.
Oh, man. I could never watch the actual show because the intro freaked me out when I was a kid.
Me too. And like you see the ghost walking up the hallway and stuff, and I had to run. Like I had to run into my bedroom, and I was never allowed to watch it. I was never allowed to watch it, and I'd always be. I was in my room, and I could hear the music from my room when I'm laying in bed, and it's like, the echo. Oh, just honestly sent shivers up my spine. I couldn't even listen to it. I'd put a pillow over my head all the time.
He still does that.
What a brilliant theme song that is, though. Like, that really captures that scary.
They kept it, didn't they, for the new one?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was an episode from the first series, the first season. I can't remember what it's called, but the guy can it was the episode. Every time someone talked about X-Files to me, that always brought up that episode, how scary it was. It was fucking, I think it was Brad Dourif played no, it wasn't. It was the guy who was fucking, he was in the Green Mile. He played Percy. He was the real shit dude. He electrocuted the guy.
Yeah.
He could he played like this monster or whatever that came out, but he could get through like any gap, he could condense himself and
he was like Alex Mack.
Yeah, it's like Alex Mack.
It's like T-1000.
Yeah, and there's this bit where he's chasing this guy, and he comes down his fucking chimney and eats him. He takes people's livers. He tears open their bodies and steals their livers.
Oh, I do remember hearing about
That's a
this one.
fucked episode. I need to get the X-Files again. I've got to buy that Blu-ray box set. I think that's pretty much everything that I have. Sorry, Free Willy.
Oh yeah, that was. I loved
that was
it.
Another roll out the VHS at school.
Yeah,
one for me.
I don't know why, but I remember that, and then I remember the Bernie Beach as well. Going to the beach all the time. And I was like, "Where's Willie?" I'd always look out and
where's Willie? Where's Willie?
There was a part in the Bernie Beach. I don't know if it was a little bit of a rock that come out, and it looked like the bit where he leaps over.
Yeah,
and I was like, I wonder if I stood out there if he'd jump over me.
I don't think anyone said the Never-Ending Story either. That's another.
No, I was saving that.
Yeah.
The Never-Ending Story was another one. No, it's pretty. You're right, mate. Yeah, great film, but quite dark fantasy, very adult. I mean, Artax, the horse, drowns in the swamps of sadness.
Shit ever.
And I mean, it's shit for Atreyu, because not only is his best mate fucking dead, but now he's got to walk everywhere.
Jesus.
I mean, if you tried walking across the map in Skyrim, fuck that. Everyone done it, but you wouldn't do it now in The Witcher. No way. It's called Roach.
I think I was too young when I saw that, or whatever. But I don't remember. I actually don't remember the movie at all, because I remember I've watched it, but I don't remember anything about it.
I went to the cinema and saw the third one.
I could almost guarantee you could put it on, and it'll probably spur back
memories.
Heaps of memories.
I bet you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Remember the bit where Atreyu's got to get through like the statues? He's got to like, if he's worthy, he'll pass through. If not, you'll be like incinerated. Yeah. He's actually not even worthy in that scene because he just like, it goes to zap him, but he jumps out of the way and gets through. And I'm just like, you're not even like really a bloody hero, mate. You're pretty shit ass, actually.
You bloody just cheesed that, didn't you?
I actually really love that movie, man.
Yeah.
I'm going to watch that when you guys leave.
It's weird to watch as an adult. There's some funny bits in it. I think I've talked about it before about Falcor.
Scratching him behind the ears and stuff.
Yeah,
that
whole scene is really creepy.
Yeah.
Go back, Paddy, and watch that movie just for that scene. It's fucking weird. Because he passes out for 3 days and then he like wakes up in this fucking dragon lair thing, luck dragon lair.
Yeah.
And it's just like he's just putting the charm on him and he's all weird.
He's got like the gross scales and shit like on his back and fur and that. Yeah.
And he's got his squinty eyes and he's like, scratch me behind the ears. Oh, I like it when you do that.
Bob's like that when he's in the bedroom with his missus.
Yeah.
It's like, now I'll be the luck dragon tonight. Yeah. And you've just been asleep for 3 days. Pat, do you have any more on your list?
Yeah, I've got a really good one I just thought of. It's not even on my list. I just remembered it.
Here we go.
Drop Dead Fred.
Yes!
You guys remember that?
I hated that movie, but my sister loved it. Dog poo, dog poo, dog poo, dog poo.
Yeah, dog poo, and he's rubbing it through the couch and like at the start, and I think I was amazed by that whole movie because even the effects, everything about it, like he was this small little bean inside of a toy or something. Wasn't it like a windy toy?
I got no idea. I don't remember that movie.
And then he pops out of it as this little ball, and then he's this giant grown man, and then he's just like the imaginary friend for the whole movie. And yeah, really good movie, but like hilarious in the whole.
I'd like to see you try and watch that now.
Yeah.
Let's see how you go.
Like we haven't done much of the funny stuff, but I remember like I was in love with that movie when I was a kid.
Yeah.
I only ever saw it maybe 2 or 3 times, but it just really stuck with me.
Yeah.
But another one, I remember being at like my mate's maybe like 10th birthday party or something, and we all like slept over and hired out all these movies. Major Pain was
My name is Major Pain.
Oh man. I've never laughed harder in my life.
That is a fun movie.
Like that.
I don't think I've seen that one.
Oh, that's a great movie. Yeah, that's a lot of fun. Operation Dumbo Drop.
Yeah.
Angels in the Outfield. Like all those bad like the 90s run of movies where it had like the main star was like an animal. Like Dunstan checks in.
Oh yeah.
Fucking like Air Bud. Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. That was pretty dark. Yeah, that was a bit dark as well. The Ant, where it got killed.
Yeah.
remember the Little Rascals?
I've never seen that.
Little Rascals was fucking awesome. That was
great.
A really good movie.
I was probably the same age as the kids in the movie, and that's why it really. I was like, oh, here's a movie about kids, and like, you watch the whole thing, and they had like bullies, and and then was that Dog Behind the Fence? Is that one where they hit the ball over the fence? Is that same movie?
Oh, I think so.
And there's this giant dog. It's almost like monster-like, and it's like shaking the fence. You never see the dog. You just And then they have to go get the ball, and
I remember the love letter. Like I don't. There's a lot of the movie.
Yeah,
I don't
love
remember,
letter.
but I remember the love letter, and he's like, "Dear Alfalfa, I hate your stinking guts. You make me vomit. You're the scum between my toes." Signed, Alfalfa.
That's great.
Dennis the Menace.
Yes.
Yeah, that was great. Where he gets kidnapped by Christopher Lloyd, and he feeds him like the baked beans and shit. And he's
that movie still holds up well.
Home Alone. We haven't even said.
I was about to say Home Alone.
I'm gonna be honest. Home Alone. It's kind of shit.
Oh, what?
Yeah, it's not a very good.
It is now, but like when you were 8, it was fucking the best.
I was a Home Alone 2 kid, lost in New York. I was a Home Alone 2 kid.
Oh, I love those movies. They were great. I'm going to play them all for Mason too. I actually currently one of my son Mason's his favorite movies is actually what did you just mention before that one?
I don't know.
Dennis the Menace.
Dennis the Menace, yeah.
Oh, Dennis the Menace, yeah.
Oh, really?
I play that for him. It's on Netflix, so I just play that, and he's like, Dennis. He requests it all the time.
Bit of Dennis, please.
That's fun. That movie.
Yeah.
That is fun. That's a fun movie.
Do you guys remember? I can't remember if this was a movie or a TV show, but My Pet Monster.
That was a TV show.
Was it?
My Pet Monster.
And it's like
your very, very
live
best
action.
of friends.
Live action one.
It had live action scenes in it. There was a My Pet Monster. There was an animated series, but then there was
the
also like a
cartoon.
live action movie.
Yeah, the
as
live
well.
action one.
I think it was
is the
like a
one I
TV
remember.
movie.
Yeah,
And like the puppet, like My Pet Monster was like real
because that was
scary.
also quite gritty or dark in some ways, but it was still fun, like a kids thing. But it was it did have that feel to it where I was like, oh, this is a bit much for me. Like,
Yeah.
that's how I remember that one. That was great.
I don't think I ever saw that.
Oh, you would have loved it as a kid. I had one more. What was it? Oh, Freddy. All the Freddy movies. Freddy Krueger.
Oh, not Reno Elm Street.
Yeah. All them really. They gave me nightmares. I couldn't even watch them. I had to leave the room. I couldn't watch them. Yeah.
All right, I'm going to wrap it up because I spoke to Jimmy Douglas today,
Yeah.
and I was asking him about it, and he was throwing some ideas at me, and I was like, what were movies that rocked your childhood?
Yep.
And this goes out to Jimmy Douglas because I know he listens to the show. The Garbage Pail Kids movie, which is absolutely fucking disgusting and terrifying. And Jimmy told me today, he's like, no, man, I love that movie. I rented it out every week and watched it. He's like, as soon as I took it back, I rented it out again. And I was like, that's fucked.
I remember that. Was
That movie
awesome.
is disgusting and
Yeah.
terrifying and gross.
I don't remember the movie at all. I remember collecting the cards and stuff, but I don't remember the movie.
Jimmy told me another good story today. We're talking about Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the movie. He's like, my dad came home and he's like, here, boys, like, I've rented this out for you. And Jimmy watched it like 3 or 4 times before he was ready to take it back. And he's like, I'm done. He's like, here, Dad. He's like, you can take it back now. And his dad looked at him. He's like, nah. He's like, you keep it. He said his dad actually bought it for him from the shop and never told him. Told him he rented it.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah. And he's just like, nah, you keep it. We'll keep it.
That's awesome.
So that's a great story.
Yeah,
So
nice.
thanks, Jimmy. I'll buy you the Garbage Pail Kids.
We're
on
gonna miss
DVD
the
for your
video
birthday.
stores.
I do. I really miss video shops. Like kids today, like Mason's going to grow up. He's not even going to know what a VHS is.
So like Jimmy's,
And if you pull one out and show it to him, he'd be like, "What is this?"
Yeah.
like Jimmy's story there, we're not going to have that with our kids anymore. You know what I mean?
No.
What are you going to show your kid to really freak him out?
I don't know.
What's the thing that you're going to put on and it's just going to freak him out for life?
Well, he's really into Spider-Man, and sometimes I'd walk in because sometimes we'd leave YouTube on with it'll be like a Spider-Man cartoon video or something that I've put on for him, and then you leave to go and do something. Come back and the next video is put on and it's like Spider-Man 3 where like Venom gets the steel bar and he's bashing Peter around the face and stuff like that. And I'm like, oh, that's a bit rough. And like Mason's just sitting there watching it like with his eyes wide open. And I was like, oh, you shouldn't be watching this. So I turned it off. Like Spider-Man's getting...
Nothing's going to scare him by the time he's
No,
older.
no.
I know, so I think he's going to be like desensitized
He'll
by
be
the time he
fearless.
even reaches
Yeah.
3.
I think it's
He'll be
kind of
watching
a,
Antichrist and Hostel next year.
jeez.
And then,
Oh, no.
I think it's the kind of thing like, you know, you have to leave home, but sort of leave some of those out so they can
Yeah.
go like, I'm going to put this on while mum and dad's away. It's a rite of passage kind of thing because I'm going to be like that.
Yeah.
It's just like, here you go, boy. You're 6. It's time to watch Terminator 2.
Yeah.
the RoboCop on.
No content. Yeah, RoboCop. Fuck, that'll fuck him up for years.
Universal Commando.
What about that RoboCop clip I showed you the other day?
Oh, man.
I'm going to show you sometime, Bobby.
I showed it to Bob last
did
week
ya?
as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
He's
we
blowing
saw
all
it.
their dicks off, yeah.
Yeah, there's a
That's-
fan-made one.
Full on, that.
What they do, they remade the scene, the rape scene from what
Yeah, the
first
attempted
movie.
rape scene, yeah.
But they actually had like, they remade it with all these like bunch of guys. And he just
All their
shoots-
dicks out. And
He
he's just, like,
shoots
shooting
all
all
their
their
dicks off.
Yeah.
That was hilarious.
That's fucked.
So graphic.
It's really graphic too.
Oh.
I don't know how they did that.
All right, that might do it for this week.
Alrighty.
Bobby Baxter, if people want to find you online, where can they find you?
www.bobbybaxter.com or Bobby Baxter Cartoons on Facebook and Instagram and Bobby Baxter everywhere else.
P-Master?
pbrown.art at... no, hang on, that's not
That's
right.
his email address.
That's my email.
Oh, hello. Personal email address.
yeah. Oh, well, there
And
you
my
go.
phone number is...
I don't know where my brain's at today. Was it Patrick Brown
art.com.
art.com? There you go. I am, yeah.
Patrick Brown,
been a long
Patrick Brown
day.
on DeviantArt.
There you
And artwork of Patrick Brown on Facebook.
go. Yeah.
He's getting worse at it, not better.
Oh, big day.
And you can find the Bearded Geeks on Facebook, facebook.com/BeardedGeeksPod, on Instagram at the Bearded Geeks, on Twitter at Bearded Geeks Pod. You can go to TeePublic and buy a bloody t-shirt if you wanna. You can go to SoundCloud. Is it SoundCloud? Yeah, you can listen to us on SoundCloud. You can listen to us on iTunes, on YouTube. You can also go to Spotify and search for our Drop the Beard playlist. Drop the Beard playlist. And you can check out all our sweet bloody songs.
That's how you bloody do it, Paddy. Look at that. He was a machine gun.
Bam, bam, bam.
SoundCloud? That was just the reload. And then just kept going.
Now, again, upcoming our 25th episode. So if there's anything you want us to talk about, suggest some topics. Just throw lots of different stuff at us. We might pick just a couple, maybe, and we'll do like shorter segments. Just knock out a few. Depends on how much we know about any of it.
Yeah.
If you got any questions you want to know about any of us, about the show, about our lives, about Patrick Brown's Bucks night, just put some questions in. We'll keep it as PG as possible, so to not get Pat in trouble. And next week, Blade Runner 2049.
Already?
Yep.
Wow, that snuck up. All right.
So next week we'll have we should have a Blade Runner 2049 episode.
Cool.
Hey.
Awesome.
So thanks everyone. Remember to like, share, and subscribe.
Like
And
tears in the rain.
that's a great line.
Yeah.
I've seen things. Oh, it's great. Thanks everyone. We'll see you all next week on the Bearded Geeks. Hey!
Hey!
We're out of here.
See ya.